Hello, everyone. Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Monday, February the 10th, 6:35 p.m. Thank you so much for your support. We're about 55 people live right now, so thank you for your undivided support. We have a pretty stacked show today, a stacked program. Well, obviously, the news that Edward Atuesta is finally an Orlando City player. We're going to be talking about Edward. We're going to be talking about also the arrival of Nico Rodriguez to the City Beautiful. Um, we're also going to be talking about the kind of John probably is going to dive into the what happened in the preseason scrimmage between Orlando and CF Montreal, Le Trash. No, and stick around. We have a lot of stuff. We're the three amigos today. So Paolo's back. John's here today. Paola,
Woohoo!
how are you? Good to see you again.
I'm doing fantastic. I missed this. I was able to come back. Now you're gonna see my face and listen to my voice regularly. So happy to be back with y'all.
Cool, cool. We're excited for that. John, how are you, my friend? Sorry to make you rush, man.
Good, buddy. Sorry, no, I was in a rush, but we're all here. I'm very happy that Paula is able to join us again on the pod. So excited to talk, and yeah, man, big things happening this off season. I
Well,
think I think everybody was a little bit impatient, and now look where we are. So I think we're in a pretty good place.
for starters, before we dive into the topics, I did wanted to just kind of we're gonna answer some fan questions and read some comments. We put a poll on Instagram for essentially this episode regarding what would people would like to see in Orlando. Essentially, how do they feel with the preseason scrimmage and all that stuff. I think there was two submissions that we'll talk about it, but we have some comments here. Giorgio says, "Hi guys, I want to say hello to you in Italy. It's 12:28 a.m. Man, thank you so much for watching us that late. I'm happy for Atuesta. He's a very good replacement for injured Cartagena. Hope Maguire will come back soon as possible." So, yep. Giorgio says, I'll buy a striker to back up Ramiro, who will need to rest some times. An experienced center back with the Cartagena's injury. I heard about the name of Agustin Soria, young cat from Defensor. Love from Italy. Thank you, Giorgio. Enjoy Italy. He's probably eating delicious food. Probably having a lot of fun over there. So, David Alvarez says, "Hey, Giorgio, thanks for staying up. Glad to hear he's a good replacement." There you go. And good evening, everyone. Good to see everyone. Now, thank you, guys, for your support and for being up so late to watch us. So, about 75 people now. So, yeah, let's dive in. I can't find, for some reason, I'll find them eventually during the show. But yeah, I mean, the news of finally Edward Atuesta being an Orlando City player. Do you want to dive into that first, John?
Yeah, for sure, of course, man. That's the
Yeah.
big piece
So
of news. That's Atuesta.
Atuesta signs officially. Clearly, we'll then dive into the Montreal game. Nico Rodriguez is in town, and then we have also some more transfer news to dive in. Because I don't think the club it's done with a lot of their season additions. So, um, for starters, so Paula, we would like to know at least your insight. Like, I mean, what do you think about Atuesta? Have you heard of him before? Do you think he's gonna be a plug and play player? Is gonna need a lot of gelling, maybe? Like
Hopefully
Oscar
not,
likes to
but
say.
absolutely. Of course, I have heard and seen Atuesta played against us, and he reminds me about a lot of Nico Loredo when he was in the Sounders, and he was always a headache when we used to play against him. He's the same for us when he was in LAFC. Being a midfielder, headache for the opponent, and he was a headache for us. So I feel that looking at comments in social media, that he rumors has it right that he hasn't been the same player from 2 years ago when he started in LAFC in the MLS. But something that good to look forward is that Pareja has this, you know, this how you may call it, this revival player thing that he likes to do when the player they're not 100% back. We've seen it with Nani. We've seen it with Pato, that he revived their career. So I think Atuesta is promising for us, right? If he's in that spot, I don't know because I haven't seen him played since LAFC. I didn't follow this player when he was in Palmeiras, and I don't remember him last season, to be honest, when he was on loan with LAFC. But if that's the case, I'm all in for it, right? And this is one of the signings that I'm looking forward to when it was a rumor, because if the player is not 100%, right, Pareja gonna revive that like he did with Nani and with Pato. But I'm really excited for this. We need it. Like, Wilder's not in. We need another experienced veteran. He likes to win trophies. He has trophies in the MLS. He has trophies with Palmeiras. So why not? Why not the signing? So I'm looking forward to Atuesta.
What about you, John? Atuesta finally, confirmed,
Yeah, man.
official.
Yeah,
I, I
everything.
I learned yesterday that announced and introduced, the difference between the word announced and introduced. Thank you, guys. Thank you to the fans that corrected me. John.
Yeah, I reached out to some different people around the league to kind of get some, insights and different opinions on Atuesta. Of course, like Paula said, we know him from LAFC, but other people around MLS kind of interesting. Danny from the battered MLS said Atuesta didn't get a lot of playing time in the second half of the season, which he thought was strange with Palmeiras. But his progressive passing numbers are top 3% in this league, and his interception numbers are really good as well. He's not the best marking and tackling, but when playing as a single pivot, sometimes he'll hold the ball for too long. But on the other side, he succeeded with holding the ball from 2 to 3 counter pressers. So he's very good technical player, which we know about him. Also, some words from Taylor with Orlando City UK. He says Atuesta can be considered a Wilder Cartagena replacement since he can play CDM, but it's important to know he's much more of a deep-lying playmaker and box-to-box midfielder, capable of making plays from deep. A little bit different. I think a lot of people were saying how he's different, right, from Wilder. Like, he is a D mid, but he's a different type of D mid. A lot of people saying that. Also, that he's going to be wearing the number 20 jersey.
There you go.
We're talking about that. Logan also had some really good points from ILF. I reached out to him. He said this is a really good move for us and good business. So he's very excited. He also says this is the kind of transfer that he expects from a Wilf-owned team that wants to be in the Eastern conversation. So he says bold players with decent talents, ceilings, gone are the days of just us picking up MLS veterans. So definitely, a very good, very positive words there from Logan as well. MLS Moves, who is a big account here on as well, also had some words. He says it's not what he was when he played for LAFC the first time, but some say he didn't fit in with LAFC's current style. He says he thinks he'll be a very good fit for Orlando. So around the league, I think, lots of very good positive viewpoints. And I tend to agree. I think, we saw what he was when he played for LAFC. I think we know he's a very good technical box-to-box midfielder. There is some questions of his defensive capabilities, but I think for me, what people are wondering, like, how's it going to work? I think the solution is easy. You just make Cesar be the guy who sits a little bit deeper, right? When you play the double pivot, often you have, one of them go a bit further forward. In recent years, it's been Cesar is that guy who's kind of been the one because Wilder likes to be so deep in the midfield. But I don't think there's any reason why Cesar can't be the one who stays back and kind of plays more of that 6 role. And then we have Atuesta kind of go forward and carry the ball forward and play more of the progressive passing and be really, the central sort of playmaker. I mean, that's the main thing I would say here is that we get from him is that Atuesta is a playmaker, different from Wilder in the sense that Wilder, yes, is also a very good playmaker, but he's more of a ball winning midfielder. Atuesta is really that sort of technical, box to box, loves to have the ball at his feet, loves to make passes, can, take free kicks. A very good kind of technical player on the ball.
Certainly a playmaker indeed. And to me, I believe that Oscar, like Paulo was saying, it's known for reigniting the fire on careers that are not really going the right way. A lot, and that's one of the reasons why I feel Atuesta and Pasalic fit that mold.
Yeah, I
Whether
mean, but they're in their prime though,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
27 and
Well, these
24.
are
It's
players
not
that have
like
a
they're
lot to
out of it.
prove. These are players that are a lot to prove. So let me complete the thought here with Atuesta specifically. We already talked about Pasalic a lot
Mm.
and how he had to overcome a lot of things, going back to Croatia and things like that. But for Atuesta, it's been the Palmeiras fans, and a lot of people may not know this, but Palmeiras fans don't think the same way we do for Atuesta. If you go diving into the interwebs, you'll see a lot of negativity
Yeah.
about Atuesta, calling him a bagre, which in Spanish bagre means like, it's a bad word. And
I
then
saw
obviously,
some thank yous, let's say, put it that
right,
way,
and
for
then
some
thank you
people.
Orlando. You guys are my
Yeah.
favorite new team because you took this, this thing that I
They,
don't like.
yeah, they feel
You
like
gave us
they
Facu and you pick
thank
up.
us for getting him off the books.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess he's really not had the best experience going back to South America as he thought he was going to have. So here comes a player that also was being doubted by LAFC media as well. Some of the pundits there were like, I don't know about Atuesta the second stint. It kind of didn't work out the way, you know. And so here comes this guy, to me, MLS ready, with a lot of, like you said, a total playmaker with a lot to prove too into Oscar's system. I feel like you said, John, he's going to thrive. I think physically he's going to probably go a step above the way he was in the second stint in LAFC and Palmeiras, because Oscar likes to really work his guys out physically. You can see the academy. You can see, all the young cats there. You got to keep with the pace. And I think he's going to fit right in. I think he's going to be a plug and play. I expect more than when Lodero came in. Obviously Lodero is more of like a veteran. This kid's still young. I mean, he's still pretty young and has a lot of years to give the MLS. And what you said, John, was interesting. I don't know if you want to tell people what you said about possibly, that it probably didn't cost us a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's just,
Yeah.
if you add that all up, I mean, it to me, well, there's a few things. One, officially per the club, right? There's no announcement of an actual amount of fee here. There's no even mention of a dollar amount, or that, whereas
Right.
it says we have acquired the midfielder from Palmeiras. They don't even say he was transferred. They just said we've acquired him, right? It said via transfer pending receipts. But there's no talk of like, oh, it was a loan, or it was for a certain amount of money.
And they're not going to tell you.
And we haven't heard that from Tom Bogert or anybody.
Yeah,
we haven't heard that. There has been, and usually like there's some kind of figure that's been bounded around, whether it's official or unofficial. So that's the first piece of information. And then the second piece is when you look at what was happening, and I don't have the tweet up exactly, Luis, but if you can remember, it was on the Loud and Proud that you actually posted about this, that he was looking at getting his contract canceled with them, because we went in originally for a loan deal. The loan deal was initially rejected outright by Palmeiras, who said like, it doesn't interest us, but we will make a transfer. And we talked about on the last pod the fact that he can't be registered for them, so that's a big thing. They basically didn't have enough space in their registration in order to be able to register another foreign player, which is going to leave him in complete limbo essentially. And because of that, it just meant that I think they were like really keen to get him off the books. But then we went back in for him, and it was around 2 million we reported, right, Luis? That we were
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. And then after that, we were wondering, okay, is there a deal or is there not? But the latest news we heard was that he actually canceled his contract or was looking to terminate his contract with the club. And that's because he wanted to be able to free himself up in order to make a move to Orlando City.
Yeah.
So it's not officially confirmed this, but from if you put all the pieces together,
It's free.
Christian Ramirez, is it Christian Moraes? I can't say
Moraes, yeah, good
Moraes
friend,
with Territorio MLS confirmed
good guy.
that he's in the final stages of terminating his contract with Palmeiras, and that was, Luis, when was that? That was on the 6th, so 4 days ago. Supposedly, he terminated his contract with Palmeiras, and the reason being for that, and they reported and wrote an article about the fact that he was in fact gonna lose money. Like he was basically saying, "I'm gonna let my last year of my contract go and become a free agent so that I can then sign with Orlando City." So by that logic, we signed him for free. And I don't see anything anywhere that tells me that that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, there's two options here. Either, like you said, based on how I kind of know the South American market a little bit, yeah, I mean, players can, terminate their contract and just kind of say, hey, look, don't pay me what's left. I forfeit it legally. And I just want a free agent. And then some clubs say, okay. Some clubs say, no, you have to have the clause, But also, a lot of players do that. And also on the DL, and I don't know Orlando probably, I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but on the DL, they're like, okay, you rescind your contract. And because some clubs, especially in Argentina, for example, they ask the player, okay, so the clause is $3 million. Okay, so you what's left over in your contract is 500,000, so you owe us 500,000. And so the player pays out of pocket, and then the other team pays him back, for the deal to go through. So there's instances like that make it a little bit more complicated, but it is possible what you say. It is possible that he just terminated his contract, forfeited the last year of his of the money that he was going to get, and then Orlando, signed him on a free. We were watching the actual footage for Atuesta. Paola, what are your expectations of Atuesta in Orlando?
I mean, looking at his trophy, room, there's one missing for him, and it's the MLS. So anything, I want him energized, proven to the league that he still got it. And I just want to see the Atuesta from 2020 and 2021 with LAFC, but even better with Orlando City. What I want to see is, brotherhood in the field, assist as much as possible, and I mean, defend this crest as, die. I mean, if he terminated his contract, means that he wants to play for Orlando City, and that means a lot because he didn't had to terminate his contract. Like another MLS team could, pay that fee and let's move on. So that means a lot. So I hope that it's like you said, Luis, a plug and play. I don't want to see. I mean, we can see a little bit of gelling or something in the beginning because he needs to adjust. So I don't want to be that hard with him, but he already had the MLS experience. I hope that it's just plug and play. He has that Colombian connection with Pareja, and probably he's just gonna prove himself into the league that he still got it and he can be, I don't know, an MLS All Star again, like 2020 or 2021. I don't remember. So let's hope for the best for Atuesta. I just wanna. It got me pumped, and I'm with you, Luis. It's not like Nico Rodriguez, right? Signing. It's a different type of signing. It's a different type of hype that myself have. So I don't want to be that harsh with Atuesta yet, but I'm super pumped for him.
There is a connection between Atuesta and Oscar Pareja as well, which a lot of people may not realize. And it's not just because he's Colombian. I mean, they both come and they
From
both
the
played
Independiente.
and were top
Mhm.
players in Independiente de Medellin. Here is Atuesta with Independiente Medellin. A great season there. Got him in LAFC, you know. And also, look at this. Look at this stash right here. And look at this hair. There's
Ay, Oscar.
Love
there's
it.
Papi right there. Sporting the same colors right there. So, I can only wish success for Atuesta. I think he's going to be a plug and play player. I think, because there's a lot of Spanish flair in the team. I think he's going to fit right in. I think the coach also knows probably what's going to take for him to thrive. And, they come from the same system, the youth system. So, I mean, it's just kind of, it's like a culture thing, they kind of operate really similarly. And I think it's going to be a phenomenal plug and play for Cartagena. Now, John, what are your expectations before we go into the comments?
Well, I'm very excited to get a guy in who's that technical and this level, right? I think that if you look around the league and you look at like midfielders, he's a midfielder that I would have picked out. Would be like, oh, I'd love to sign us a player of that level in the league. And at 27 years old, he's very good all around. But the fact that he is so good at like possessing the ball and so comfortable holding the ball in the midfield, I think it's going to really open up a lot of opportunities for us. I'm excited to see how this changed the way we play. I feel like maybe before, like I said, like with Cesar being the further forward of the two of the D mids, he's not the best at the like 1-2 link up passing, and not the best. He doesn't have the best vision, right? And like that's not really where his strengths lie. So I think with Atuesta playing that role, I really believe it's going to be able to open up a lot more attacking opportunities for us. Really have that player that's sitting in behind the back, like sorry, the front four, and spraying the ball around, looking for passes to Duncan and to Enrique and to all the other attacking midfielders, balls over the top to Pasalic, things like that, as well as like on the the dead balls. I think from a free kick, he's very dangerous. So I think he brings a lot of things to the team that we didn't have from our defensive midfield positions. We had some of that coming from our attacking midfielders, but never really from further back in the field with someone who has that much technical ability on the ball. So I think it's going to change a little bit the way we play. And I'm interested to see how he lines up. But I'm very happy that we got this done. I also think, if Wilder comes back at some point, maybe this season, maybe that's too hopeful. But it might be next season. But the idea of having a midfield where you've got, the option to bring on one of our three the strong defensive midfielders off the bench for one of the other two is also great because, we're thinking about this as he's a starter. Of course, he's going to be a starter right now, but, in the future, it's just good to have another like defensive midfielder, if we want to be able to rest Cesar or Wilder. If we want to be able to just start Atuesta and rest those guys, use them off the bench, we have that option that before we didn't have a third midfielder at the level of the other two. And now we have three, even though one of them is kind of injured for a while.
Yeah. Off the record, obviously Cartagena's down. You're completely right. He may be getting sooner, than expected, kind of like Duncan in a way.
I mean, we're hopeful. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
We don't know officially how long. People are speculating, right, but there's no official word how long.
Right, yet. But like it could be a shorter term or a little longer. It just depends. But I mean, I think the way that I take this is the club is taking the necessary precaution of two things in the middle. Number one is getting a replacement for Cartagena, which they have in Atuesta, with a guy with still a lot of potential to thrive and grow in Orlando. At a good age, good price, makes sense. Colombian, it just makes sense. And obviously, we had the news of Cesar trying to leave. And in case Cesar goes, they're trying to boost their mid. tremendously, or have one of the kids from OCB, which kind of ties into the next topic that we're going to be talking about. Ties into the depth that we have. And Gervais, apparently he was one of the stars of this match against Montreal. Were you able to go, Paola?
No, I wasn't able.
Oh, okay. Now, before we go into the analysis of that, we're going to go and read some comments real quick. We have Facundo Torres, 1017. I was there, and what a goal by Nico. I do want to say before I continue, 158 people watching us right now. Thank you so much for your support.
Woo-hoo.
About 140 on X and about 24 people on YouTube. Make sure if you're on YouTube to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. And if you're on X, just retweet the video or drop us a comment. We'll read it on the next episode for sure, or even reply you. That's after the show. Thank you so much for your support. You definitely make a difference for us to grow as an outlet. Jonathan Canada, after watching the scrimmage, glad to have some new scorers, players who will look to finish. There you go. Facu, me too, says David Albury. Guille Carlos, vamos puñeta, loving the moves. Thank you, Carlos. Pilot, haha. Hopefully he doesn't start his time here like Muriel. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man, you're pulling that Debbie down there. No, I'm just kidding. Banjo, spoke to my friend who's a Palmeiras fan, and he's really not a fan of Atuesta. Yeah, I got a lot of insight from that. I have a lot of friends too that are really not happy.
Yeah, I think they just were like, he didn't do well for us, but that doesn't mean he won't do
exactly.
well for Orlando
That's what
City.
I told him.
Yeah, like one player's, one team's player that they don't want will be another team's player. They're like, oh yeah, I'm so glad,
I mean, they're super hard. Those fans and respect to them, right? But they're super hard because with Facu right now, I've been following Facu, whatever.
Yes, for a lot of gifts.
And it's like they're like, the dude hasn't played at least 6 times or less, and they're already like, you have to prove this and this, and I'm like, come on, give the guy a chance. But yeah, they're hard.
Excited for the midfield depth, particularly with a heavy cup schedule this year with multiple games per week, says Team Bedoya. Thank you so much, Team Bedoya. Joshua Tall, can't wait for Atuesta, let's go. And Rodriguez. Mr. William Diaz says, I heard it's a one deal with a 1-year option for Atuesta. Is that true? Yeah, and it makes sense, because you don't want to commit too long. Atuesta's, I think he's coming from 2 places that truly didn't really like him in the end. So, he's just trying to find a niche, and I think he has an option to resign. So, who knows? He may be forever a Lion. You never know. In a good way, Joshua Tall, this definitely is much helpful insights of Atuesta. Opinions on our second string keeper, says Stream Jesus. You're talking about Otero?
I think he's talking about Otero, yeah.
I think Otero is fantastic. I think he's a great keeper. I mean, I don't know. You guys don't like Otero? Do you like Otero, John?
I mean, I haven't seen enough of Otero yet. You know what I mean? It's like, I think there's a lot of good excitement around him. I think he's done a pretty good job at OCB. I've heard a lot of good, positive things about, how he'll be in the future, but haven't heard anything, particularly on Otero yet.
Now, talking about the youth, I wanted to start this section, obviously, with this video that your fiance, which I want to give kudos because she wants credit for this.
She called me out for not giving her credit first.
It was super funny that
she took the video, and I was like, "Well, now you have to send me that video because I need to post that because it's a great video." So, and then I didn't tag her, and she was very upset. So
if Steph watching, there you go.
It happens. It happens. Like I told her, like she's Instagram fiance. That's her job. Like that's what she's supposed to do. Take the video. I'm gonna be in trouble now.
Yeah. So we have this video of Pasalic just dribbling the ball. Man, what kind of dribbling is that? It's like a Borussia Dortmund type of dribbling. I've seen that in Borussia, but it was, how did he do, John? Oh, I think he
I'm sorry. He did great, man. He killed it. Yeah, I mean, he looks like, there was this moment here when we got the video. It's so the way that he moves with the ball, the speed of which he does
yeah.
stuff is just really, really impressive. So I was, like, oh, okay, this guy can ball, and we knew that. But when you see it in person and you kind of see it a little bit in this video, the way that he turns so quickly and the way he reads the game and moves the ball that quickly, it's pretty impressive.
Um, have you seen this footage, Paula? What do you think? I mean, he's
When I saw it, I'm like, ooh, we might get like this is a plug and play kind of situation of player. And if he can move like that in the regular season, by all means, I'm pumped for him. So
yeah, I think he's have no problem dribbling through players. It kind of reminds me of like a Diego Rossi with better dribbling. If
ooh.
like
And
he's
taller.
yeah, obviously taller, but like with better dribbling. And when I say better dribbling, is a bet. I mean, Diego Rossi is really good taking players 1v1. But this dude seems that he's not afraid if he's gonna take Agiman, which is probably double his size, or if he's gonna take like Malanda, or if he's gonna take Robinson. He just goes. He's like he has no fear. So yeah, another thing that I wanted to show before going into deep into the depth that we have that we saw in this game and is I want to show you guys this video and everyone that's watching. I want to give kudos to hold on right here. No, that's not it. Where is it? I think it's this right here. Let's watch this real quick.
Yeah, right. After having one of the greatest MLS next seasons of all time, Orlando's U19 Academy finished this past season undefeated. I heard about this hot form, so I got on a plane to Indio, California to see them play at MLS Next Fest. I make it to the venue and head to the field where we see Orlando take on Cincinnati. This match was filled with some of the best talent the MLS Next has right now, including the likes of Justin Ellis, Brandon Crystal, Gustavo Caraballo, Jackson Platts, and the player who holds the record of the most goals in one MLS next season, Stefan Chirilla. The game begins and Orlando gets straight to the point, scoring in the first minute of the game. Not stopping there, a great cross is put into the box where we see Gustavo Caraballo place the ball in the bottom corner to extend Orlando's lead. He didn't stop there. Gustavo will go on and score a top corner golazo to make it 3-0.
No, I do want to say this, and the reason why I wanted to show you guys this, and I want to thank Laws Productions. I will have this video posted on Instagram as his story, so everybody could see it. Also, thank you to Javier Carrillo. The under-19s of Orlando City Academy were undefeated. You're talking about kids like Caraballo, Justin Ellis. These are kids that, Kolingowski. So these are kids that are come from an undefeated team. So I think the club it's definitely not saying, yeah, they're ready to be starters in the MLS. But I do feel that these are players that are going to contribute in certain points of the season into the first team with some minutes. And I think this is going to be the year in which we're going to see a lot of these faces. And maybe that's the Orlando way, kind of like the Mandalorian, that's the Orlando way. There's other teams that, want to hire, what's his name? The guy who, Kai Kamara, right? And he plays in every single team in the MLS. But there's other teams like maybe Orlando that would rather give a chance to Justin Ellis. And he's hot right now. And I heard that he also played, right, John? He had some minutes in against Montreal, or was that just I heard?
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see all these guys out there, man. I mean, there's a lot of youth out there for sure. The one that was interesting for me is that Shaq Mohammed started up front in this game, which I think partly maybe just because Enrique, I don't know if he's like what's up with him, but they might have just wanted to rest him, or he wasn't there because he wasn't on the sub bench. I didn't see Enrique, but when we start to get down to the fact that we then also don't have Duncan because he's injured, and you don't have Muriel because he went off injured in Atletico Mineiro, you start to think, okay, who is going to start as striker? So Shaq Mohammed was called upon to start, and he played pretty well. I thought he had some good moments. He didn't get a goal, but he definitely, was fighting up front and was kind of chasing down balls and getting in front of guys. Also, Gervais started in this one in D mid and definitely had some good moments. Hit the crossbar with one really good attempt that kind of rattled the crossbar in the first half. So there was definitely some good, interesting other players here. Outside of that, everybody that you sort of expect, Jansen was back in there. We hadn't seen him yet. Angulo Sukada started off really well, really bright, and then just went down. Another injury in preseason. I don't think there's anything that the club is doing wrong. I think these things just happen, and it's just really unlucky. In fact, often it happens in preseason because, rusty legs and warming up and all this stuff. So he got like a few knocks to Cicada, but then it seemed like he just couldn't go on. Not official exactly what was going on with that, but I did speak to Dennis Chin on the sidelines, and he didn't seem too enthusiastic. So hopefully we'll hear more about Cicada soon, but not looking like he's going to be able to start a game on the 22nd. Then we also had a bunch of guys come on. Pasalic obviously came on at that point. He wasn't starting for Shaq Mohammed, so that was great. We got to see those first moments that we just saw on the video before. He looked really bright. And then it kind of like we added more subs, and at about the 60th minute, it went pretty much full OCB, and everybody out there who was on the bench came on pretty much, I believe, apart from I want to say Taifi was the only one who wasn't brought on, and he got brought on later. But we did 60 minutes of first team and then about 60 minutes of OCB. So Montreal won the MLS Next Pro 60 minutes, let's say, with a 2-1, but the 60 minutes with the first team out there was 0-0. So Nico Ladero, of course, got that nice free kick. We did concede 2 goals to Montreal, but it's preseason.
People were
whatever. I don't really take any stock in preseason.
Yeah,
I was kind of watching just to see what the new players see who looks bright, but I don't like last year. Remember, Paula? Remember last year preseason? We won
we killed it.
I went to the game of this last year. We beat New England 3-1. We looked awesome. Nico Ladero looked incredible. And then the season started, and you know how that tail went. So, I don't take too much stock in preseason. I just want to see who's out there, who's fit, who's playing what position, who are the new guys. The youth look good though. I think there were some bright moments from Tahiri Brown. It looks big, man. I think
Tahiri Brown is a beast.
He is one that I was doubting. Like we talked about before, we need a left back, and we
might not need one.
Maybe he's ready, man. Maybe he's ready for first team minutes. He's got the size. He's only 18 years old, but he can ball. He can play for sure. So a few others like Colin Gusky again, looking bright out there. Alex Freeman, of course,
Justin Ellis had minutes.
Should have scored. He hit the bar again. Oh, he hit the cross post. What do you say? Sorry,
Justin Ellis,
yeah, up front came on and looked pretty bright.
He's a good striker.
There were some good moments from the OCB team, let's say. And on the Montreal side, Petrasso was there, so he was there playing left wing back for them. So we were all on the east side of the stadium, so he was just right in front of us. It was so funny. It was oh, there's Petrasso. Kyle Smith came on as well to play. Taifi was great. He came on. I love seeing him whenever he plays because he's one that we've seen for the last 3 or 4 years from being a real young kid to now starting to get some looks in the first team. So I think it's exciting for the youth, of course. How many of them are going to play when the actual season starts? I don't know. we'll see. The other one was Rain. He was another one here, this guy down here. He came on as like a right winger. He looked interesting. So yeah, I hadn't really seen much from him before. So yeah, a lot of new looks. Brekalo played well as well. So yeah, I think it was great to see, and I feel like we didn't learn too much. I think a lot of people just wanted to go and see Pasalic, see the new guy. And yeah, we did kind of look in the crowd to see if Atuesta was there. We had some confirmation from some sources that Atuesta was in the stadium. I'm just trying to find here.
He was just hiding from you.
Yeah, well, remember this time last
Yeah,
was there, Luis, and he'd come back from Blackburn, and everybody got that picture of him sitting in the top like suite.
yeah,
Back, like he had blonde hair. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I remember that.
He just dyed his hair. So yes, all of that was going on, but I didn't really personally see Atuesta. But yeah, we had it confirmed from some sources that he was in the building, as we suspected. Getting the lay of the land, learning what's up before they announced him today. And that Nico, here's the Nico free kick. I just found it, so I wanted to show that.
Yeah.
As well to anybody who hasn't seen. But that was nice. So nice to see some moments from him.
That's good for his confidence too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's huge for his confidence. So, what do you think of all these young cats joining the team, Paola?
I mean,
some of them you've seen on OCB.
Yeah, absolutely. I something that I criticize for Orlando is that we should be utilizing more from the academy, and I think this is a great opportunity for them to showcase what they are capable of. And I just want to see more from the academy this upcoming season. Like you just said, John, like we shouldn't be looking outside for a left back if we have players that can play like Freeman or forgot his name, the 18-year-old Ring Brown.
Tahir.
There you go.
Brown.
Tahir.
Brown. We'll just call him Brown.
He's big though. I was like, he's only 18. I'm like,
he's big when we signed him, and he was like 15.
Crap.
He was big, but yeah, he looks really big now. He's 18. That's amazing. In my head, he's still like 15 years old, but no, he is 18 now. So yeah.
I mean, if we don't have to look outside and it's just a promotion from the academy, bring it on, and that will be huge for us. So
we're gonna read some comments, and then I have some comments from the video on X, where we're live right now. So thank you so much for everybody that's retweeting and dropping your hearts. Jana Hart. I don't know if I butcher your name. Thank you so much, Miss Hart. People around us complained because they didn't recognize the OCB players. Encourage them to come out and watch the OCB matches. Well, if you don't know them, now you know. Go to OCB games and also go to Orlando Pride games. But, OCB, it's available. And I think it's part also, there's like a perk if you're an STM for OCB matches, I believe. So talk to your ticket person. And this is the future of Orlando. Now, you cannot have both ways. You cannot just say, hey, I'm trying to build a culture, and then you sign Neymar, what's it called, Dani Alves. There was actually people online suggesting for Orlando to sign Dani Alves. Or Marcelo. I'm like, bro, are we that desperate for for names? Bro, we have Tahir Reed Brown. I'd rather have Tahir Reed Brown, Alex Freeman, Thomas Williams on my back line than freaking Dani Alves. With all due respect, though, because I'm a Barcelona fan, but come on, man.
You know I get excited by these youth players, always. I'm like, yo, play these kids, man. Play these kids.
Cody on X says that's a tough sell for Miss Hart's comment. MLS next is 4th tier. Do you feel that, John? It's I mean, look, it should be 2nd tier.
Like, you can't really tier do you at? Like, you could put MLS in tier 1 just based on many factors, and then after that, like, the USL has its own tiers that they've made.
So they should be the second division.
So it's like, how do you line up? Like, somewhere down the USL divisions, you'd probably land in the right spot for the same level as, you know, I'd say it's probably around third tier for both of that. You know, it's hard to say, really. Like, it's the level is difficult to put a finger on, but it is far away from MLS, and we know that. And we are critical of MLS Next Pro, but what we need is these guys to get minutes with the first team, and that's how they're gonna become good enough to actually play in the first team. I don't think Alex Freeman is ever gonna be a great player if he stays playing another 3 seasons in MLS Next Pro. It's just not gonna happen. So for their own development, we need to give them minutes ASAP.
Or buy USL.
Or buy USL.
We just buy it.
Yeah.
William Diaz says, what happened to Sakata? Is there an update on the injury? Hate to lose him. Yeah, I was devastated when I heard about that he was down. Unfortunately, he's a kid that I have high expectations to be a backup for Angulo. I definitely thought when I saw him at OCV, he's completely ready to go. Coming from the FC Tokyo Youth Academy, J League, all of that. So the kid's ready to go. It's unfortunate because like John was saying, you're kind of cold. You're not really, and you got to understand all these young players, whether you like it or not, when they get a chance to showcase their talents, they're going to play as if it's a final, even if it's a friendly, because they want to impress the coach, the coaching staff, the front office is there, everyone. So obviously Sakata, that's what he was trying to do. He's trying to play at his top level best. And unfortunately, when you do that, and you have somebody like Piet that looks like a freaking log with arms and legs, and he's like tracking you down, and you may step weird, and you have a strain and things like that. So hopefully the club reserves the right not to say this is a back and forth bickering. I could tell you right now how this may be right or wrong, but yeah, I mean, the club doesn't disclose the full nature of the injury unless it's themselves when they feel like it, literally. So there's really no updates right now. I am going to ask. I did send an email, so I will be sending an email today after the show, just kind of to see if there's an update. But again, they don't have to tell us the exact what he exactly has. But yeah, we hope that it's nothing bad that is going to silence him for a long time. After Pedro left, they scored 2 easy goals, one nasty top bin from like half field, says Stream Jesus. SA Seth San Antonio. Anybody know where Wilfredo Rivera is? I thought for sure this season would be the season he finally breaks into the team. It said he's never been given the chance. I don't know if you want to respond to that, Paola.
He's not. He's just playing for the national team right now. I don't know if he has a club, but when he was no, he doesn't have a club. He's just playing for Puerto Rico right now. But when he was in Orlando, he wasn't utilized a lot because we had already players in that same position. So it was super competitive for him to showcase in the first team. He does have a good future, but hopefully he can find a club where he can shine and he can develop even further. But he does play for Puerto Rico right now. That's the only official club listed under him.
It says any info of Agustin Soria from Defensor Sporting. We'll talk about it in just a moment. Joshua Tall, someone told me he thinks Sakata tore his ACL. I hope not. Hopefully not. Let's think positively.
I hope not. Yeah,
I hope not. We'll find out.
Bad. He did something. Maybe
we'll find out one way or the other.
Yeah, that would be really sucky. I would hate that.
We'll find out one way or the other, and we'll update you.
No more long-term injuries, please. No
more. But so I have a couple of other comments here on X. Um, Cody, on the post that we put for what's his name, Agustin Soria of the rumor it's brewing in Uruguay. He says, I don't see how we can keep up with Atlanta and Miami with ambition like this. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Cody, KCR21 at. Let me tell you, bruh. Last year, bruh. Eastern Conference Finals, bruh. All right. And we didn't play right the first half of the season. So, you know, this whole ambition thing, I just feel like it's a little undermining what Orlando is. Sorry, man. Just feel like Atlanta and Miami are in their own different universe, man. I don't even look at Atlanta and Miami. I'm focused, and I think everyone should be focused on what Orlando's doing. Like this, we just showcased their under 19s being undefeated. Orlando actually developing soccer in the States. I don't see Atlanta developing soccer in the States. Do you see Atlanta developing soccer in the States? I don't. Do you see Miami developing soccer in the States aside of Messi and the cool commercial they have when he kick a football into field goal? That's fantastic. Actually, I do want to say that was actually a great commercial. No, but I don't see any buzz on Kramaski that he's wanted in like all these major teams. But I do see, buzz on our young cats, man, undefeated under 19s. So I think we're on a whole different pathway on making our squad better. I think it's not just ambition. I mean, if we wouldn't have ambition, we would have signed Pasalic. The front office would have just gone on vacation to Punta Cana or to Aruba and just chilled and not find a replacement for Wilder, and they got Atuesta. So, I mean, I don't know what expectations some people put on the team. Do they expect for us to be Real Madrid? Like Chelsea? John, are we Chelsea? Are we like Tottenham?
No.
There you go. So, yeah. So,
I have another question as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
This one from Nucky, who says,
Nucky.
what do we know about the players that were not Duncan? We know Nico. We know now the Muriel and Enrique. How is Jataro's knee? So, kind of similar question. What's going on with our, injured players? Like where was Muriel? I think Muriel was just out from the last game. Was injured against the Minero.
Yeah.
Enrique, I don't know where Enrique was at all. Duncan, we know, is out, of course. Yataro, we just talked about. We were speculating on that one. Enrique is the real mystery to me as to where he was. Maybe I think he already got his green card, right? So I don't think he was out for that.
Yeah,
Maybe he was out just, to prevent
Day
any
off.
injury or
honestly, I did
something.
kind of feel like that, Paula. I felt like
I would have given the day
we've
off
only
too.
got one striker. We're just not going to play him in any real competitive games. Like
Exactly.
they might honestly be doing that right now until we potentially get another one through the door. But yeah, we gotta make sure that we are checking to make sure that we are going to have enough players. We have a little bit of an issue right now at striker, and of course we have other guys that can play there, but none of them are actual out and out strikers. So that's where you end up with Shaq Mohammed playing at striker against Montreal.
Now, adding to what you said about Gnocchi, which I want to say hello to Gnocchi. Thank you so much for all your support, Gnocchi, that you give us. If you're listening, thank you. Gnocchi also, aside of Gnocchi, a lot of other people online have been saying about we need a center back, like center back depth. Do you feel, honestly, I'll start with Paula, do you feel we need center back depth right now? And then after that, John could answer that question.
I would say no, and this is my opinion. Like we have Jansen, we have Rodri, and we have Brecalo. Now the question is, is Brecalo's gonna be consistent or not consistent? Right? It just depends on consistency within Rodri and Brecalo. Now, I don't know if you wanted to know this opinion, Luis, but I feel that we need a left back. Like I'm afraid about Santos
John's
being,
on your boat.
I mean, being consistency again. Like, I don't see the consistency from the beginning of the season with Santos versus the end of the season. So I think if we can add a competition to Santos in that position, it could push him a little bit further and see if he has, consistency. But right now, for me, it's a no. We don't need a center back. We can utilize that funds to another position in the team.
John, do we need a center back? Look, adding to what Paula said, Brecalo, Thomas Williams,
Hmm.
literally, Jansen. If you want out Cal Smith there too, he's played center back before, right? So we have I don't know. Do you think we feel that we need a depth in center back? And you've also seen the kids.
I
Down, down, down.
like if you asked me this question the last 2 years, I would 100% be like, sign a center back, sign a center back. And I think last year when we signed Brecalo, we were like, okay, great, he's going to be the starting guy. But I think now I agree entirely with Paula. I think you have a situation where you have 3 very good center backs in Jansen, Schlegel, and Brecalo. And then I think Thomas Williams has taken enough of a step forward where I feel comfortable having 3 good ones, and Thomas Williams as a developing, decent enough center back 4th option that is there. Like we see center back as a position that, in my opinion, is probably the one that I don't want to say like they don't do the most, but they run the least in a lot of ways. Like, it's the position that you can kind of get away with playing the same guy the most games back to back in. And we see that with like Jansen and Rodri, and like Oscar loves to just keep those center backs. Like, he might change a lot of the other team, but the center backs will often stay the same. So he's not using a whole amount of rotation anyway. So like I'm thinking, how many minutes is Brecalo going to get this year if it's still going to be Schlegel and Jansen? So then if you bring in another 4th center back, they're just not going to get the minutes. So I think that's where Thomas Williams, I believe, is ready and has been that 4th choice, really. Like, we've seen Abdi Salim and other guys, but I think Thomas Williams is planned for him to be the 4th option in the center back position, and I think he's ready for that, and I have no issue with that. And I believe that there's other areas of our squad that we should go spend attention on and money and a slot on. In my opinion, we can get away with what we have in center back.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with both of you on that scenario. I think the center back position, it's pretty stacked right now. The left back, it would be great to, even though Freeman, even though, Dagger, they're great, and Kyle and even Santos, but I feel like we need a back that can play both flanks at least. Hopefully young, maybe I don't know, from South America, under 22 initiative or something like that. But I think definitely not Dani Alves, unless he comes in there like really. No, I'm just kidding.
Not even that.
Yeah. But I just think that we definitely need a little bit of depth there. But yeah, let's read some more comments here. It says the squad depth is looking great, says Jeffrey O. I don't know if he's being sarcastic or if he's real. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate you. Orlando City UK also said on the Atuesta situation, delighted, exactly the caliber we need, being Colombian. He should flourish here. And then there's also people saying that is this really a good signing? Should I get excited for this? Assuming this will be a huge signing, says Statman. Like, oh man,
I think some people just don't know because they don't know who they are, right? I think they're asking questions. Is this a big signing? I think it is. I think Atuesta is a big deal for us, just based on the way we play. So updating the depth chart, of course. Now we've got Atuesta in there for real. Marco Pasalic is here. Still, I think the center, the striking position, which also leaves me nicely on, Luis, to talk about our next topic.
Depth chart.
Augustin Soria, you want to talk all about this one? I have
Yeah,
it here
so
ready
there's
for
a
you.
lot of there's a rumor right now. People from Sport 890, right there in Uruguay, they're a big radio station, all about sports. They're one of the top radio stations there. Lopez Ferraro is one of their journalists there. He said that Orlando last week put a bid for Defensor Sporting's defensive midfielder, 20-year-old Agustin Soria, which has been targeted, but this is what the source told me because I talked to him. He said like 10 other clubs asked for him in the span since the end of 2024. These had like over 10 clubs like sending bids.
A lot of interest.
Yeah, a lot of interest on this kid.
Any other big clubs though, like us, like that's
I think we shine over the others because of the money. I think and the money is ready and available. In one check, not in easy payments. So it makes the transaction a little easier. Two-time Uruguayan champions, Defensor Sporting. He is literally what Cesar Araujo was when he first arrived to the Lions. Is a young cat with a lot of upside, has already played Copa Libertadores. He's a starter in Defensor Sporting, so he's playing the first division in Uruguay. Very, very similar to the style of play of Cesar. So if that's not hinting something, it's if we wouldn't care about what's happening with the club, if they will be in Aruba drinking a daiquiri or drinking a Moscow Mule or something, but no, they're looking for depth for in the event, God forbid, Cesar decides not to continue in Orlando. Clearly, I mean that's the path, right? And you already have Atuesta with an option. You have Wilder that probably we're going to have the negotiating power with him because he's probably going to miss one season, hopefully not. But in the case he does miss one full season, Orlando's going to have the negotiating power with Wilder. Say, hey, look, keep the same salary. We'll extend you one more year. What about that? So then you have Wilder and Atuesta, and then you bring this 20-year-old kid that is it's the spit image of Cesar Araujo. Like it's like going back in time in a time machine. So it makes sense. They said Defensor Sporting is carefully, they resubmitted another bid according to the source. And Defensor is thinking about it, carefully revising, and they'll talk about it. Now, there's a Peruvian cat that plays with him. He plays the 8. His name is Barcos, Alfonso Barcos. He played in Universitario. And that kid took his spot. This kid right here took his spot of the academy, of the Defensor Academy. Yeah, benched him. Yeah, so that's a little thing I could tell you about Agustin Soria, but that's what the source is saying. So hopefully, the club is under something. He will be definitely an under 22 initiative player.
How many spot left we have as U22 initiative right now?
We have 2 open. Wait, no, hold on. We have Nico
Sorry
Rodriguez.
about the random question.
Nico Rodriguez. No, I know the answer to this because I did it the other day. Nico Rodriguez is a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And Cesar is no longer one. I think
neither Enrique.
I don't think Enrique is one anymore. I'm trying to think if there's anybody left on the roster who still is under U22. I think we still have 2 free ones.
Yeah.
After Nico, because I believe obviously we had Heine. He was one, and he got taken.
Oh,
never played a game. Heine Bruce.
Crickets.
Forever a Lion.
Forever alive. You had the bandana ready, John.
I was ready, bro. I was ready to go all out.
I was excited to see that kid play.
But yeah. So I believe I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anybody else. I think it was Cesar, but he's obviously aged out. I think Enrique might have aged out as well.
He's aged
I'd
out.
have
Yeah.
to check. He might still be under, but yeah, I
No, he's
think
23. He's 23.
yeah. So right now it's just Nico Rodriguez. So we got 2 spots. Definitely D mid would be one of them I would use it for. And then the other one, like we talked about, like a left back or another striker, a U22 striker, baby. Let's go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
let's do it.
Let's pull up Miami. Go find some 18-year-old Argentine kid.
Or go to
You know,
Ecuador.
yeah, or I
They
don't
have,
care.
they have now.
Go
Here,
find me some 18-year-old.
William
Would
puts
be
a great
good.
comment here. Says,
Yeah.
there's a lot of work being done in obtaining young players to Thales forward. I think that's stalled. So
Yeah, I don't know if they got Thales over the line.
yeah,
Maybe they did, and they just didn't talk about it because the
yeah.
OCB they just don't.
Noam Abdelaloui, yeah, which this is signing
Yeah.
that we announced for center back for OCB. So
French guy who's been
French
in the
guy,
Italian system. Yeah.
yeah, from Saint Etienne Academy. Now he will be in the event something may go down with our center back corps, and we have Abdelaloui available. He'll be a plug and play to play.
If they need to call someone up, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Moises Paniagua, when I heard about that rumor, I'm like, this is. I call my friend. I have a friend in Tigo, Bolivia, and she denied it. So that's why I never posted it. But I don't see Orlando signing somebody. Number one, that they want like 10 million for this kid, and I'll be honest with you, I've seen him play. He ain't all that. And not only that, he plays in a team that plays in the altitude 4,300 meters above sea level, man. Like, this is almost next to Kami's lair, literally right next to it. It's like, so and when those teams play in normal circumstances or in normal weather conditions, they are terrible. So I don't know if Orlando will want to sign a Bolivian kid, like a Bolivian midfielder, probably a 10, because a lot of them play in Brazil now.
Maybe
But
just for OCB, it'd be like I think sometimes we assume if they're going to be an OCB signing, like, oh, they're going to be a one for the future. But if you look back, history has shown that some of these OCB signings are just guys to fill out the roster that they never really think are ever going to be good enough for first team. They just need more bodies in certain positions. Like maybe the academy hasn't produced enough defensive midfielders and we have to go get one to fill in so that we can have a guy that's going to play with all the other academy players. So that kind of thing happens all the time. That just doesn't mean that they're ever going to have a chance with the first team. So maybe that's the case with this guy. We'll see. But I also wanted Luis to talk about Nicolas Rodriguez, who has arrived in Orlando. This was on his social media, right?
Yep.
So, of course, no thanks to Donald Trump. Obviously, it's an issue right now with immigration and him being Colombian. So he had to like go to Mexico to then it's like a whole thing. So yeah, like great to see that he is here in Orlando. Another one that could have been at the game on Saturday. I don't think so. Maybe he was. I no idea, but hopefully we're gonna see him in training this week, Luis, and see introduction. In the squad with some videos and some
pictures, all that good
him
stuff.
at the stadium and all that stuff that we've seen from, of course, Pasalic already, and we've seen some stuff for Atuesta as well. So exciting. We've made 3 signings already, Luis, and honestly, all 3 of them, I think I'm
solid.
I'm on board with. I think, a 21-year-old for like $1 million or so out of 20 years old. Sorry, Nico Rodriguez out of Colombia, who's got a big upside. A 24-year-old DP winger who plays in the Croatian national team, and then a proven MLS 27-year-old defensive mid in Atuesta. I think, there's no old men in there, Luis, and there's no completely unproven, like, oh, he's 18 and definitely won't be able to good enough kind of
Yeah,
guys.
at least.
I think there's some question marks about how good each one of these is going to be, and I'm still scarred from last year when I was so hype over Muriel and the letdown was so real. So I'm not going to go all in on any of these guys yet.
Well, last year
but I'm getting excited, and I think there's a lot here to be positive about.
Yeah, last year, Paula, it was the opposite of this year. So last year, we were winning all preseason games. We play against Flamengo. Boom, shakalaka. Muriel is coming. My God, I'm freaking out. That's the signing we need. I'm going to bulk up, tear my shirt off. Yeah, Orlando. Eli Lesser comes, makes a video. They're gonna win the league, and everybody's like, 300 likes. Blah, blah, blah,
I don't want him near us this year.
right?
Dang.
You got, Tom Boker Bokey Bomb. Bah, boom, bah. Horrible start of the season.
This year, everyone else just thinks they're like, oh, they lost Factory. Right. They're no good anymore. Everyone, they're not going to be any good. Like, I love it. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, keep
ignore
sending the negativity, man.
Yeah, we're so much better when the league ignores us.
I was going to say that, John. Yeah. I like the title of being underdogs than being on the map.
Do you feel that, though? Do you feel that, that maybe this year, we probably didn't win a lot of the scrimmages, let's say, right? Because they don't even say if we win or lost. But, we had some 3 decent signings, How do you feel, I think we're in a good, in my opinion, I think we're in a good path. I still have faith.
I mean, you're asking me or John?
You.
No, I think it's okay. I got the 2 bags of the side, right? I don't want to get hype. Just want to wait and see what we're gonna cook. But at the same time, we have different signings and different positions versus last year. Just saying. And a lot of youngsters too. Like last year, it was Muriel, it was Lodeiro. Who else did we sign last?
Brecalo.
Oh, Brecalo too. So
it's Slovenian King. I remember
that. But I mean, it's just different, and hopefully, we have a different squad that we can rely to, because last season, at the end of the season, we had the same squad than the year prior. So hopefully, all signings are good signings, and we don't have the eye of the league making us, we're gonna be MLS contenders, we're gonna be number 1. Hopefully that's the case, but I just want to be that underdog. And rub the Dragon Ball Z.
I have my magic ball right here, my Dragon Ball, and clearly I can't predict the future, but I can definitely sense that if different Orlando, the only way, I mean, I just want to ask these questions to everybody, but I feel like if Orlando reaches the playoffs and then falls in the first round, people are gonna just be like, no, I'm done with this. It's over for me. I'm taking my cash to see the Solar Bears. This is over. They're giving me a patch. I'm done. Right? Honestly, but imagine if the squad is, you see, Sakata, and you see, Tom, Alex Freeman, and you see, Justin Ellis on the 9 in a couple of games, let's say, I'm cool, because at least we giving these kids, like, I mean, when are you going to have these kids play in the first team if they're never going to get the chance to? You know what I mean? So something's gonna give at some point. Yeah, or we may reach Eastern Conference Finals again, at this point. So I don't know. I just feel like it's hard on preseasons to definitely say what's going to happen to the squad. I do feel like we're heading in the right direction. I don't know if you feel the same way, John.
Yeah, man, I feel like we're killing it there. I feel like it's the right moves for us. I want to make sure that we are doing the right thing, and I think that this is a good investment in our future. You know, guys like Nicolas Rodriguez, if
Yeah.
you sign him for $1 million or so, and then you could potentially in the future sell him for
Look
10
for
million, and
no,
that's
imagine
good
that.
value. I think last year we were excited because we thought we needed some of those experienced guys to get us over the line. This year, I feel like we need just some new, like fresh talent in the team. Some guys that are going to come in and hit the ground running and are in their prime. Like we've signed two key players here in the starting 11 who are in their, still in their kind of prime, 27 to 24-year-old. So I think that's great, and I think this is the right moves for us. Let's just see how these guys, settle into MLS. We're assuming they can hit the ground running, but that doesn't
You never
always
know.
happen. So,
Mhm.
especially Pasalic, like he's one that we really do need to. He needs to start well and to be able to replace those numbers. But I'm feeling positive based on what we've seen so far.
All we need
Yeah,
is a spirit bomb of positivity for everybody. We
yeah.
need, we need a, all this stuff. I'm hearing people saying, I'm throwing everything away, and they always mention Miami and Atlanta. I'm like, yo, you guys shouldn't even be thinking about Atlanta and Miami.
Just
Like, who
trust the
cares?
process. That's
Who
something that people don't
cares?
understand. Yeah.
But it is fine. Jeffrey O, 2025 Golden Boot, Luis Muriel. Tony S, it's nice to have a right-footed free kick taker now.
Did
There
you
you
not
go.
see Nicolodero?
Oh man,
Oh, I guess he's left-footed as well. Yeah, so
Salty
many
H2O.
left-footers.
Salty H2O. Hey fellas, just got back from getting my magnets from Gusky and Williams. Oh wow. Oh yeah, they were there today, giving the magnets. Whose
Yeah, there's
idea was the
lots of things
magnets?
happening, man. We got Magnet Monday today, then tomorrow they've got Wednesday, the Jersey event, the Jersey launch,
The
which I'll
hurricane.
probably be going out to see the Hurricane kit in person. And then, Valentine's Day, if you really want to, you can take your other half to watch Messi and co play Orlando City for
Are
a
you going
very
there?
expensive, very Tampa Valentine's Day.
Are you going there?
You're
I'm
actually
not
gonna
going.
go?
No, I'm saying
I'm
if
not
you
gonna go.
could. I'm saying hypothetically you could. I don't think your missus would be very approved. I don't think that would go well. It doesn't go down well in the household, right? Like, what do you get me for Valentine's Day, baby? Oh, you're gonna go see a
Oh, get you
preseason game for
Messi.
Orlando City.
The real question is
You're
if
gonna see it.
Messi is playing or not.
If
That's
she's
the real
if
question.
she's a big Messi fan, sure that would be great.
I'm a
I'm
big
sure
Messi
they.
fan and I'm not going, John.
Well,
So
then that's it. I'm gonna make a call right now to your other half and say
no, but
Paula's
no, no, no,
perfect
no, no.
perfect gift for Paula
Listen,
this Valentine's Day is she doesn't want flowers, she doesn't want chocolates. She wants you to take her to go watch Orlando City.
I'm a Messi fan until I see him in Miami. Like I cannot stand it, and unfortunately, that's the truth.
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
the Michelob Ultra ads just ruined it forever for me. I can't look at the man the same way again.
Ay, ay, ay.
all I have to say is the Tampa Bay Commission, they are dropping the ball. I'm gonna say this. I'm probably gonna cost me the accreditation, but I sent them a message over 2 months ago about this. Hey, where's the accreditation? Do you guys know? Like, I'm media. And they're like, I just got the reply like an hour before starting the show. Oh, sorry to get back at you so late.
2 months ago, Luis.
Yeah, and then the game is in 4 days. So we'll see what happens. I've there's a possibility I may go. I'm not sure yet. Again, plans and things like that. But we'll see. I just think it's a really who picks that date. Like I just don't understand the logic.
It makes no sense to me
But
whatsoever.
it is what it is. A preseason victory over Mineiro would have been unthinkable several seasons ago. Correct. With additions made, we're moving forward. Forget the others. I completely agree with you. And I actually forgot about the Mineiro game. That was a huge win for Orlando City. That, like, Cruzeiro fans, at this time are making fun of Minero for losing to Orlando City youth, literally. Salty H2O. I'll be watching that game from home. LOL.
Oh, they're
There we
gonna
go.
be streaming it.
I have no idea.
Hmm.
I have I have no idea. But anyways, what else do we have there on the agenda, John? That you wanna dive in? Are we pretty much good?
I think we got everything, man. I feel like we talked about all the players coming in. We really just now need to fill out a couple more players in these other positions that we're not sure about. And then season's right around the corner. Look out. We're going to be having a season preview coming up. I'm going to be recording soon with Taylor from Orlando City, UK. He's going to be
This
joining us
weekend, right?
just like last year. Yeah. So we're going to put that out, a preview of our opinions and his opinion on what's going to happen with the season. So that's exciting. We're also we've been on so many preview pods, Luis, haven't we? There's been lots of different pods around MLS that we've been on talking to them about what we think with Orlando City. So look out for more of that. We'll be doing a one on Wednesday night as well. So yeah, there's lots going on. We're at that pinnacle point of the season, Luis, where everybody is like, ready, like what's going to happen. It's just, we're right on the edge of it starting. We're 2 weeks away from the beginning of the season. And, obviously we're going to see a little bit this Friday, what's happening when we play Miami. I don't think I'll be able to watch that one on Valentine's Day, but I'll catch the highlights. I'm sure the rest of you will do the same. Yeah. And then we'll see kind of how that goes and how we match up. I'm imagining we're going to be a full first team out there trying to treat it like a makeshift, MLS fixture, as if it were an MLS fixture. I'm sure that's how the front office will treat it. So let's see how we do there. And then potentially get a few more players in, but we could start the season right now without any more players. And I feel ready. I feel like we have a very good idea about what our starting 11 would be. And so, yeah, I'm ready to go. I want to see what this new Orlando City looks like, and hopefully we can start the season well, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for the season. I'm excited to be back. I want to thank every single one of you, 270 people, literally. And everyone watching on YouTube and on X. You guys are the real MVPs. I want to also read Williams Diaz. It's on Apple TV, says William Diaz.
Oh, thank you, William, and
There
Salty
you
H2O also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
William, you're gonna watch it on Valentine's
Shit,
Day.
watch it on
Mrs.
Valentine's
Granados is
Day.
gonna be, like this is not for me on Valentine's.
You can't ignore your significant other to what you could be on the phone. You're gonna be on the phone.
I mean, I do it enough. for Orlando City, so we can't do it on Valentine's.
She's gonna. Hey, Steph, I'm gonna text Steph.
No,
Hey,
I'm
I'm just
kidding.
kidding.
She loves. Thankfully, she loves to come to the games too, or else
Wow.
like you,
Wow.
Paula, you gotta have your other half. You just gotta make them into soccer, whether they like it or not.
That's why you have to
Yeah.
keep her. She's a keeper.
That's a
man.
keeper. Yeah.
Also, I want to give before we go, we have some pictures for the magnets right here between Gusky and Thomas Williams, and also kudos and good luck to Daryl Deacon, man. He came back with West Brom Albion. You know what I mean? Tremendous to see him back again for sure. So this Tahir got big, man.
What? That's that chicken and broccoli or something that he's on a diet.
Yeah, he's bigger than Mercado.
A lot of protein, probably.
Look at all that creatine going on, man.
It's
and then you got
Mondays, man.
Thomas, and then you got Colin. It's amazing,
awesome.
man. Fantastic. Good for those kids, man. I'm just happy to see them thrive. T-Mobile peeps get MLS season pass for free. Just a quick heads up. There you go,
Yep.
man. Yeah, that's a good reason for me to switch.
You gotta get everything sorted out now, Luis. Your tickets, get your season pass ready.
I got a new
your
backpack.
tailgate stuff ready.
I got a new backpack because I started getting a lot of slack. I want to say hello to Chris from 24 Flicks. I got a lot of crap last season because my backpack was the Lakers backpack.
Oh
They're
yeah,
like, oh, you're a Laker faker.
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm like, so I changed my backpack. Peer pressure. I caved in. I have a normal reporter's backpack. No
Oh, that's a
collar.
requirement. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like okay.
very serious. So no, but no, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great season. I'm excited to meet all of you. If you guys see me walking there to the stadium, say hello. Thank you guys for all your support. I'm glad to see Paola back again, and also always sharing with John and everybody. Also, don't forget we are on social media. We are on social media. Yes, Loud and Proud Orlando on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We're going to be live after this episode, and then X at LP_podcast, Instagram, Facebook, and also YouTube. If you're on YouTube and you're watching this later on, make sure you leave us a comment. We'll respond to you on the next episode. Thank you to everybody that supported the show today. We'll be back next week, right, John? Or are we coming back?
No, I think I don't expect any
February the
big news
14th?
this week. So I think we'll come back next Monday to talk all about
There you go.
what happened this week. There'll be the jersey to talk about. There'll be the Miami
the Hurricane
game.
Kid. Some people are hating on the
yeah.
Hurricane Kid, man.
There'll be lots and lots coming up. And then the next week we will be previewing the Philadelphia Union, Luis, as well, getting ready for the beginning of the season. It's already here. So very excited. Of course.
We gotta win that one big.
We haven't lost at home in the home opener, so
make sure you guys, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, so you don't miss out. The season is right here, and you can always count on us to be there for you.
Thank you guys for your support, and vamos Orlando.
Vamos Orlando.
Vamos Orlando.